Alright, YouTube, I predicted days ago that the situation in Turkey would worsen, human rights abuses would be rife, and Erdogan was just moving towards becoming a dictator. It looks like that's happened. Now, the airbase situation at Incirlik, that was largely taken care of. There was like a massive fire around it, and they thought it was sabotage. Power had been cut to it. There were some scuffles apparently there. Things have returned to more or less normal. The Germans are threatening to withdraw all their troops from the airbase, which is terrible news for Turkey. Normally, they have fairly good relations with the Germans because Angela Merkel wants as many refugees from Turkey as possible to stream into Europe. It helps her with her communism. Anyway, that's been largely taken care of, but the new stage is human rights abuses are beginning to attract the attention of the outside world. You've got human rights groups now demanding that they be allowed in to observe the detention facilities that people are being held in. It's tens of thousands of people now. They're also purging journalists. They issued warrants, I believe, for 49 different journalists, media personalities that were implicated as possibly having been in support of the coup. They've got thousands of soldiers and police in detention. They've extended the state of emergency in order to allow what will eventually become indefinite detention. They are now torturing and raping, apparently, these people. And this is a CNN report. This isn't like Alex Jones reporting this, so take it as you will. Now, I am critical of the Western media in general, but you got to understand, when elements of the media with strong ties to Obama, who has praised Turkey and said the coup is evil, Erdogan is great, there's nothing wrong with him, Islam, Sharia, Allah Akbar sort of stuff. When elements of the media normally very friendly to the leftist ideology here begin to criticize the very source of the refugee crisis, because Turkey's holding several million refugees over the heads of the EU like a ticking time bomb, when they become critical of the human rights conditions there, there's a problem. Now, Erdogan has for several years now slowly eroded human rights and civil rights, the rights of the press, the freedom of the people of Turkey. He's been eroding it for that entire time. I never saw a single goddamn thing said by Obama, by Angela Merkel, by Francois Hollande, by David Cameron, by any of these idiots. They didn't say anything. All of a sudden, though, post-coup, all of them realize, I think, how bad it is, how much of the world is watching, not just within Turkey itself in some of the more advanced urbanized pieces of the country, like Ankara or Izmir or something, but people outside, especially in Europe and the United States. We're all looking, and we're seeing that people are getting beaten, people are getting tortured, the state of emergency has continued. I think they withdrew from the Human Rights Council in Turkey. They were being called on not to reinstate execution, and it looks like Tayyip wants to reinstate execution and couldn't do that as a member of some of these councils. So he said, to hell with it, I'm going to kill all these people. What's he going to do? Kill 10,000 people in Turkey? Going to commit a limited-scale genocide of everybody who doesn't agree with him in the country? He's going to have a pretty low population when he gets through. He'll execute the first round of people. Those moderately in support with him will abandon him. More people will rise up in rank to protest. He'll detain them all and kill 1 million people? I wouldn't put it past him. One look in his eyes and you can tell this is a man who doesn't exactly have that much of a conscience. He's taking a country that was swiftly advancing, that was seen as a miraculous success within the Islamic world of building a secular nation on Western values, with a powerful military, a growing economy, and a growing global presence within trade. He's managed to take that and piss it all away. Investors are becoming nervous because they don't know what's going to happen in Turkey. I think people fully expect it's going to become a totalitarian nationalist state run by a nationalist brand of neo-Ottoman Islam. It's going to go back to the Stone Ages, and all of those advances made on the platform of Ataturk will be pissed away in less than a single generation by Tayyip. He's going to piss that away in his haste to make Turkey, instead of part of the Western world, instead of a powerful Western country, he wants to be the most powerful third world country. Well, that's a stupid idea. It's the most stupid thing that he could possibly do. And he's doing it so that he can sit like a sultan upon a golden throne, reign over his people as a totalitarian second-wave Saddam Hussein. That's what he's doing. He would rather be the absolute dictator of a shitty nation than be the representative leader of an extremely powerful, civilized nation. The people of Turkey should not deal with this shit. They should overthrow the bastard. They should put a bullet in his brain. And increasingly, you see even mainline politicians, people like Obama, people like Merkel, calling on them to stop. Saying, hey, Tayyip, we're getting a little bit nervous over here about all these unlawful detentions over your stupid claims about this Fethullah bullshit artist living in the United States as though he was responsible for every ill in your country. We're getting a little bit nervous about the fact that you're very seriously considering executing people while trying to get into the EU. And Tayyip doesn't give a damn. He probably never did. I wouldn't be surprised if he faced enough pressure from the West. I think he'd probably seize our air base there and they'd say, oh, well, I have nukes now, so leave me the fuck alone. Oh, wouldn't that be a glorious day? He'd get nuked back to the Stone Age. NATO would have to nuke a NATO partner in order to solve the problem. It'd be insane. Yeah, I don't understand why people aren't already rising up in the streets here. It just doesn't make any sense. Can you imagine if this happened in any other westernizing nation? It's like in Venezuela right now. The fucking Maduro over there, he's acting exactly the same. Now, we look at Maduro, we say, yeah, he's a tin horn dictator, crazy socialist. He's fucked his own economy. He's certainly fucked his own people's civil rights. He's alienating even his allies. He's crazy. I mean, he's just suppressing everybody. He's not doing anything that Tayyip isn't doing over in Turkey. Why are we not aiming the same criticism at them? Because they haven't instituted state socialism yet? If, like, the economic policy alone is responsible for the woes of a nation, Turkey's not going to continue to grow and advance if everybody who's invested in the country becomes convinced it's going to become some weird neo-Nazi totalitarian state with Turkish nationalism. Nobody's going to fucking invest there. It would be one thing if it were a sane brand of nationalism. Like, oh, well, in Ataturk's name we march onwards to secularity. We will build great bridges and great towers. Nobody would care. In fact, they'd probably invest more. They'd think, well, this is a pretty good turn for Turkey. Oh, they're going to be first world in no time. Out in the middle of the desert, some little 100-person town, they'll have every commodity available. It'll be like a glorious golden utopia or something. Unfortunately, what the brand of nationalism they're attempting to institute is like pre-Ataturk nationalism, which doesn't make any sense. It's like going back. It's like deciding that civilization just doesn't work, and so you regress into primitivism or something like that. It's going to be a weird combination between the worst, most totalitarian aspects of cultural nationalism and the worst, most barbarous aspects of anarcho-primitivism meshed together into what will become nothing more than an Islamic tribal state over which Erdogan will reign like a sultan or a caliph. I mean, I almost think that he's doing this to try to become a caliph and absorb like all these militant groups and make a play to seize control of some of the region from like the Saudis or something like that. Like he's going to literally rebuild the Ottoman Empire and then declare it the caliphate or something. And he's going to reign supreme. I think he'd get killed if he tried. I think like Baghdadi or one of these others would have him killed. But still, I think that might be his goal. I mean, it's crazy. It's literal lunacy. The dude is a fucking lunatic. Why hasn't he been forced out yet? I don't understand. Especially when prisoners are being like raped and tortured and so forth. This happened over in Australia. They had like a juvenile detention facility. I think this was in the news yesterday or the day before. There was a juvenile detention facility, and they were like torturing some of the people that were there. And Australia immediately cracks down. They close it up. They say, we're going to conduct a thorough investigation. It's just horrific. Happens in Turkey. Apparently nobody's batting an eye. I don't know why people aren't fighting back. That's about all. Peace out.